Everyone loves Netflix's The Witcher, but even the biggest fans may not know about some of the behind-the-scenes actions that took place, such as the cast mistakes. It's something that happens in almost every show or film out there. Mistakes happen on set, and those are just facts. No one's ever one-take Jake, and the team behind The Witcher isn't an exception.
What was between you and Geralt? Longing? Regret? Hope and fear.
In an interview, Freya Allan, the actress who played Ciri in the show, talked about a mishap from Kim Bodnia, saying that it takes place in the scene where Geralt, Vesemir, and Cohen walk up on a dramatic moment with Ciri as she is on that obstacle course. It was a really big moment and one of the most important scenes from the show, but what happened was quite funny. Turns out that Kim didn't see that there was a mark for where she had to look during the entire scene. That resulted in the actor looking in the complete opposite direction. It was a hilarious moment where the other actors were doing as they had to, and Kim just had his back to the camera. Freya then joked about how the actor was unprofessional.
You are the lion cub of Cintra. You are destined for
I
great
can't do this without you.
We must go, Your Highness.
Speaking of Freya, did you know that she was originally meant to play a smaller role? It's no surprise that kids aren't always the best actors, since they don't really have much experience, though some of them take it up a notch. While now the actress seems like the obvious choice for Ciri, things weren't always so simple. In fact, the producer of the show was having the hardest time ever coming up with someone who could play that role. Ciri is written as an 11-year-old girl, so there were obviously a lot of time constraints when shooting with someone that young. That, on top of finding someone good enough at such a young age, proved to be more of a problem than the producer thought it would be. They even tried looking at some slightly older actors for the role, but no one was quite right. The casting director for the show then told him to maybe take a look at someone they'd already cast in another role.
Hey, stop that, Anton! Please stop it!
You don't give the orders anymore, Princess.
I'm sorry for what happened.
Allan was, at the time, supposed to be playing in one episode, as Merilka, literally just one scene. They then auditioned her and hired her for the role that very day, saying that the actress had a lot of soul, and she was clearly talented enough. Though the actress was freaking out at the time, she thought she had lost her role. Does that sound cool? Wait till you hear about the show's costume design. All of you know just how absolutely bonkers the incredible stunts and special effects work on the show, but something that most people completely forget about is the incredible costumes. Turns out that the entire cast ended up collaborating with the show's costume designer, Lucinda Wright, to bring the best product on screen.
Look, I was there. I saw it with my own...
See?
The cast even talked about the entire thing. They said that the designer was super open to new ideas and tried her best to incorporate every single thing they came up with. This made the costumes much more personal. If I'm being honest, you could see the love put into them. The entire cast wanted their costumes more personalized and did just that for the second season. If anyone wanted a cape, she was there for them. If anyone wanted their own necklace to be a part of their costume, consider it done. This part of making films usually gets ignored, but thanks to some great behind-the-scenes content, you finally get to see more of the magic.
Throw away the key, go f yourself, you horsens, 'cause you're through with me. Thank you.
Say another word and I'll cut your tongue out.
With that said, let's talk more about the cast. It turns out they were constantly trying to make each other laugh. That too is on set. This one takes place after everyone is back to normal shooting schedules after the entire lockdown debacle is over. Allan even said that the entire cast would always joke around and laugh. They surely had fun with the show. All the while, Cavill was constantly trying to make his co-star Joey laugh while they were filming. Though it was all in shots that would never be able to actually catch something like that, usually on big wide shots. In fact, at least according to Joey, there's a scene in the second season where you can see him laughing at something that Cavill did. The actor just turned away from the camera and started making funny faces. The editing team kept that in, and it truly is a gem of a scene.
Release her, and you can have me.
On the other hand, there were a bunch of injuries while filming it. Of course, that's to be expected in a show that has as much action as The Witcher. But what's really surprising is that there weren't injuries on the set, but off of it too. The cast even talked about some of them, though Cavill himself probably suffered the biggest injury on set. Turns out that he had pulled a hamstring and really hurt his leg. But Cavill wasn't the only one that got injured. So did Brodnia, and that too offset, though the actor tried to play it off and still casually strolled onto the set to get the job done. How'd he even injure himself? You might be asking yourself that very question. Apparently, he sliced his hand while he was cooking. The only reason that the people on set noticed he was injured was that his blood had dripped onto the sword. Despite everyone telling him to rest, he wanted to keep going because it was so exciting. That's some real determination right there. Though he wasn't alone in that sentiment. Everyone on the cast was super excited about the medieval setting.
Yarpen and his men will get you out of here.
I'm staying with you.
You can't.
Why? Where are you going?
It's a Slayer monster.
Freya Allan said that she would get into the zone by listening to tracks from other famous fantasy series or films. While on the other hand, Joey joked about wanting mead or wine to drink while filming just to get more into character. Though of course, they didn't get him any, to which he jokingly replied that he was just going to show up drunk from now on. Though since it's a medieval fantasy show, they were pretty much cold and muddy the entire time. That sounds accurate to how it actually was back in the day, but they were still super excited about it, and it shows. Speaking of Joey, did you know that he didn't know how to play the lute before the show? All of you, even me included, have questioned whether Jaskier is playing the lute or if it's just sound added on top. Turns out that he really is. The actor didn't even learn it just for this role or for his own amusement. He had to learn it for an acting gig a long time ago. While he was auditioning for the show, they were asking around if anyone knew how to play the lute, and Joey was there at the right time. And finally, I can't end this video without talking about how the producers read fan theories. It's no surprise that the show has a bunch of fan theories going around. I mean, it has a huge fan base, but the producers actually take some time to go through them. In fact, the show's executive producer talked about how she loves to go online and interact with fans of all kinds. Not just that, but she thinks it's super fun to see what fans think is going to happen next, though they are extra careful not to let any of that influence the actual story. You need to know all the best behind the scenes facts about the show. See you in the next video.